What is up, Chimichanga homies? Today is a very exciting day. It is the 1 year and a couple day anniversary of my channel. I missed the anniversary by a couple days, but that's okay. Today we're going to be in the kitchen, which is unusual. We are going to be making some cookies in the kitchen, and we're going to, let's just make some cookies to celebrate 1 year of my channel. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is go in here and grab a little peanut butter cream cookie, and yeah, then we're gonna eat the cookie. There you go. All right, bye bye. Just kidding. We're actually gonna make some chocolate chip cookies, and we're gonna make them green, just like Tater. So. Found a recipe and we're gonna make them. All right, so this can load. I found a recipe for the cookies from the Epoch Times. I don't know what that is, just giving credit to where I found this recipe. So the ingredients, it says we'll need our flour, baking soda, salt, butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla, and chocolate. So I'm gonna gather up those ingredients. We got all of our ingredients right there. So I'd say we're gonna start mixing it all together. Okay, first I'm gonna preheat the oven to 350. So okay, there's preheat to 350. Okay, so it says while my oven is preheating, line a baking sheet with parchment paper. So we're gonna grab my baking sheet. We're not gonna make too many, so this looks like a good one. And the parchment paper is in here. Yep. And okay, so we're gonna line our baking sheet with the parchment paper. Okay, then it says whisk dry ingredients together in a bowl. So we're gonna come down here and grab this should be a good enough size bowl. And we're gonna measure out our dry ingredients in this bowl. So our 1.5 cups of flour. So we're gonna go into our thing of flour and do our 1 cup. Yeah, I'll need a knife to level this off. Okay, bone knife. And then okay, so then we've got 1 cup of flour, and now we need a 1/2 cup of flour. So here's our 1/2 cup that will get all filled up with flour. Whoa. Okay, and we'll level this off and put our flour in. And then it says 3/4 teaspoons of baking soda, so we're gonna do our best to pour in our baking soda. That's about 2/4 teaspoons, I'd say, that just fell in there. So we're just gonna take that and put that in there, and that should be good for baking soda. And then next it says 1/4 teaspoon of some salt, and I have some special pink salt. So we're gonna take our 1/4 teaspoon, and it just says 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna put that in there. And then we're gonna do our 2/3 cups. 2/3 2/3 cups of brown sugar, very tightly packed. So here's our brown sugar. I'd say it's pretty tightly packed. These rubber bands are on tight. So it says, how much does it say? 2/3 cups. Say we just stick our thing into the bag. Pause. 1/3 cup. That's a 1/4 cup. Okay, so we need 2 of these. Oh yeah, that's tightly packed. That should be enough if we just level it off with the butter knife. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this and spare you guys this because it's gonna be hard. Okay, so we've got 1/3 cup of baking of brown sugar. We're gonna pour that in there. I packed it down tightly. This is gonna be cool. Oh, look at that! It just came out in one big piece. Now, what does it say? Oh yeah, we need to add another 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I keep calling it baking soda. Okay, so we've got our brown sugar, and there's ingredients all over my phone, so I'm gonna wipe that off. And okay, the next step is the chocolate chips. And that'll be it for our dry ingredients, and then we have to mix those together. I mean, yeah. So how many chocolate chips? 1/4 cup. Oh, where's the cup? Okay. So we need 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. This is a fresh bag, so and then we need 1/4 cup. Oh my goodness, I just missed it. Oh my goodness. Like a lot. I'm gonna put that in. And that's a lot of chocolate chips, so that should be enough. I'm gonna clean up the ones that I spilled. Alright, those are all of our dry ingredients. So it said to just mix those together. Let's use the, this looks like, oh, what am I thinking? We're using a whisk. Okay. It says mix up all the dry ingredients. So we're gonna do that. So they're all nice and mixed. Now this recipe calls for one of those big mixers, but I'm not doing all that, so I'm just gonna hand mix everything and it should work. Alright, it looks like all of our dry ingredients are mixed together. Okay, so it calls for 1/2 cup of butter, and this whole stick is 1/2 cup, so we're gonna put in the whole stick of butter into our thing. And it says to mix that together, and mix that together before you add all of our other wet ingredients. So this is gonna be hard to mix together. I'll stop recording for this part. Okay, so we got our butter in, and next it says to add egg and vanilla. So it just says to add 1 egg. And how much vanilla do we need? 1 teaspoon. So I'm gonna grab an egg from the fridge. Eggs. Right here. Got our own eggs from chickens. So it says to add our egg in. This is a boiled egg. I grabbed a boiled egg. Okay, let me find a regular egg. Okay, for real this time. We found a raw egg, and there we go. That one's juicy. And we're gonna put that in right there. And then our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. I dropped the cap, picked that up. Where did they go? Oh. Okay, so the next step is beat it together until fully incorporated, so that's what we're gonna do. This might take a little bit to get fully incorporated, so I'll spare that for you. Alright, I had to bust out the electric mixer because this was not doing it like fast at all. So let's see, it says mix on low speed. That can't be right. Something's wrong with this. Hold on. The mixer didn't work, so I guess I'm just gonna have to waste away trying to get this all fully incorporated with this hand whisk because something's wrong with that mixer. So I'm gonna wipe my phone off and mix it. So I think the problem is I accidentally added the chocolate chips in too early. So this is just my guess, and I'm guessing they're all soaking up all the stuff that would make it wet and gooey, I think. So it's not, the butter is cold and it's not melted, so maybe it's the butter. I'm gonna let this sit and let the butter melt. Like, look, on my whisk there's some good gooey stuff, little bits. So I'm gonna let the butter melt and see if that helps. Okay, so now it says we are ready to form our dough balls and put them onto our parchment paper. So I'm just gonna do like little spoonfuls of the dough. Oh, actually, before we do that, we gotta make them green. So I'm gonna find the food coloring and then we can form our dough balls. Alright, so we've got our green food coloring and we're gonna put that in. Alright, so we're just gonna do a couple drops. I did 3 drops, see where that gets us. And we just mix it up with this spoon. And I'll mix it up real good and see where it gets us. Alright, so we got our green food coloring in. It's not as green as I thought it would turn out, but I'd say it's green enough to represent taters. So now we can form these into dough balls and put them on our parchment paper. Okay, so before I do that, I'm gonna look and see if I'm not sure if we have one of those scooper things. I don't think we do. We've got an ice cream scoop, but okay, so we're just gonna have to use this spoon, which is okay. So let's make sure it's a good portion and put that onto our parchment paper. And I guess I did wash my hands, so these will be nice and sanitary. That looks like a good size cookie. And now we're gonna do that until there's no more dough left. I'll see you whenever we got that all done. Okay, so we've got all of our cookie dough balls on the baking sheet. There's still a little bit of dough left and I couldn't fit the rest on there, so we're just gonna put that in the oven, and I guess we're just gonna have some extra dough to make cookies another time. So I'm gonna look and see how much it wants us to put that in the oven for, and then we'll do that. Okay, it says bake for 8 to 9 minutes, so I'm gonna do it for 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so we've got that. I'm gonna open the oven up. It's hot. Hopefully I don't drop these cookies. And we're gonna put them in the oven and let those bake for bake time 8 minutes. Actually, bake time. Okay. That should be a good bake time, and whenever that's off, our cookies should be ready to do a taste test. Alrighty. Alright, the timer just went off for the cookies. I don't know if that looks good or not. I'm gonna definitely have to like cut them apart. I'm gonna do the good old toothpick trick and stick a toothpick in them, see if they're gooey inside, and see if we need to cook them any longer. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so I've got my toothpick. I'm gonna stick them. Oh, those need to be cooked a lot longer. I'm gonna put them in for another 2 minutes. Okay. Hopefully that 2 minutes does it. I hope these cookies work. I really do. Alright, so I pulled the cookies out of the oven. I think they're done. I don't know that I'm cool. They didn't really stay green, but we're gonna let them cool, and then we're gonna try them out. Okay. Alright, so the cookies are all cooled off and done. So now we're gonna do a taste test. So let's just taste test it. This is a cookie. It's a chocolate chip cookie. They didn't stay green, but yeah. Happy 1 year anniversary, Timmy Strong Homies. Like and subscribe. Maybe you'll get a cookie.